See, it's a wonder to me that more people don't get fucking jaws broken nowadays. I think that's a problem with half the population, and Dave and I have been saying that for years, is that not enough people have been hit.
In the face. Yeah.
That's the thing, is like, if you're from, back in the day, or you're from certain neighborhoods, or you grew up in certain places, like, you've been in a fight. You've lost them, you've won them, it's whatever it is. But there's people out there now that you could go up to them, they're in their 20s. You ever been in a fight? No. That sounds terrible. That sounds terrible. But then they'll be the most, they'll have the highest, the most important opinion in the world. And if you don't like their opinion, then how dare you? You need to be hit. People need to be hit.
Speaking of hitting, a lot of altercations that happen. I couldn't imagine going to high school right now. On top of the fact that you have that everybody's glued to these devices, and if you're being bullied, you used to be able to just go home, get off the bus, go home, get away from it. You're at home. That's your safe space. You got Nintendo 64. You're doing your thing. You didn't have, you might have had like AOL, but you weren't friends with the person on AOL that like on Instant Messenger. So you can get away with it. Now it's just like an onslaught and barrage of abuse between these kids. Yeah. So I've been thinking about it a lot, obviously, since recent events, but a lot of things that would have just been like shoving matches or fist fights are mass shootings now, which is the craziest thing, because now it used to just be like everybody gathers in the hallway, fight, and people are,
right.
Or meet me outside in the parking lot, but nobody in those situations, you're mad enough to get into a fight with somebody, but you never were mad enough to be like, we're going to go this far.
You know what's interesting too? If you've ever been in a fight, sometimes when you let loose and just scrap it out, after that you become friends sometimes, you know what I mean? After that, it's like, hey, I respect you after that. It's still stupid what you said, but you're cool now. You can take a punch.
I've got one friend that, our friendship was really solidified because of a fist fight after school.
Hell yeah. Shout out to him, man.
Yeah.
No, but it's interesting because like nowadays that energy is kind of pent up. So I train MMA, so I feel when I'm hitting the bags, I can just let out a lot of, energy that I have pent up, whether it's like getting cut off on the freeway or things that happen on work. I could just let it loose there, come back home. I was like, oh, I'm chilling, I've let loose. But nowadays, like, people are so passive aggressive, super duper aggressive, passive, super duper aggressive, that when it gets confrontational and the phones come out, you don't want to look like the bad guy that, swung first, unless you don't give a fuck, you're like, I want to turn this into a highlight reel. No, but what I'm saying with that is what happens is, let's say you want to scrap to get the phone up. Nowadays, mental health and social media, terrible combination, especially growing up as an adolescent right now in these days. What could be the talk of the town in high school or your city could be fucking viral in the whole country and worldwide. You know what I mean? And if you're having to deal with like trauma that you dealt with in school about being embarrassed, imagine that on a scale of like globally, where you're known as that. So when you go to high school and you go to college, you're the guy from that video.